When it comes to retail, activewear has become more crowded, but multi-brand upstart Carbon38 is making waves and headlines in its quest to outfit high-powered women. Former ballerina, Wall Street analyst, and fitness instructor Katie Warner-Johnson began the company in LA, expanding the online retailer into an incubator for smaller brands. In today's Bloomberg Equality, our ongoing conversation about the bottom line impact of diversity, I sat down with Katie Warner-Johnson to hear her story. She began by explaining how she found success engaging the fashion community.
I left Deutsche Bank, didn't accept the offer, and instead was dancing in New York, and realized that there's a pretty significant delta between a dancer's salary and an analyst on Wall Street pre-2008 salary. So I became a fitness instructor in the mornings to pay the bills. And this was in 2007, 2008 financial crisis hit, and all of my peers who I'd been at Harvard with, who were in the financial industries, lost their jobs. And it was unbelievable to see my classes were filled with these unbelievable women who were partners of private equity firms, hedge fund managers, managing directors at big, bulge bracket banks, and they had lost their jobs, and they were coming into the studio every day to sweat it out and rebuild and take life by the horns and create these new careers, whether they were launching their own things or shifting industries or starting from scratch in terms of building their careers. And that's where I fell in love with the customer, because every day I had to come in and out alpha a group of alpha females, so I learned a lot about leadership in that studio. But more than that, I watched this unbelievable group of women take on this unprecedented amount of responsibility to not only shift careers, to raise the next generation of leaders, and to break through all of those glass ceilings in the process.
What's interesting with Carbon38 is that it's gone through several iterations. Your original plan was an aggregator for a fitness class schedule, to be able to put together all the different schedules. Yeah. And now you do retail, and you're also a platform. Talk about the different the evolution in the different
Absolutely.
stages.
So, the initial evolution was really quick and dirty, in all honesty. So we went through an accelerator program. Initially, we're aggregating fitness classes or unsold inventory at fitness studios and selling them at a discount, kind of like ClassPass. But the margin wasn't there for scale, or at least to support us through to scale. Then we were looking at creating a content platform. So almost like Into the Glass, we would profile influencers and their wellness routines, and then make all those products and services, whether they be food delivery services, juice cleanses, SoulCycle classes, or apparel, available for sale. And this was just when the affiliate model was just launching. So we started through affiliate links, then we did some consignment, then we did cross-stock, and then our vendors couldn't grow as fast as the demand was. So we started actually having to hold inventory and finance production for our vendors. And that's where the whole idea was born. Because at this point, I'm thinking leggings have a much longer shelf life than a green juice, and I really don't want to be in the business of packaging green juices. But more than that, I was starting to fall in love with all of these amazing designers, these mom and pop, small upstart brands with a true fashion perspective, all of which were female founded at the time, and 75% of our brands are still female founded to this day. And I thought, there's something here. There is none of us individually can compete against a Nike or Lululemon, but by sending out that fishing net and stitching together all of these smaller micro brands, we can take on a multi-billion-dollar industry. And so that's what we did. We raised money around this concept of being a multi-brand retailer, a lot like Sephora. So today we have our own branded label. We also do a bunch of collabs with more ready-to-wear designers like Jonathan Simkai or Carly Kushney. And then we also have the bigger designers that we all know, like Nike and Adidas. And then we've got all these amazing up-and-coming brands like Ona by Yoon Chung, which I'm wearing today, one of our in-house brands, actually. She used to be an employee of Carbon, has now launched her own design.
So
and
you're an incubator in many ways.
In a lot of ways.
What do you see the company looking like in 5 to 10 years then?
I do think that we are building the female economy. So we essentially have two customers. We've got our customer who comes to our website, who purchases, who walks into any of our stores, but we also have our vendors. 80% of the fashion industry is male run and creatively led. 75% of our brands are female run and led. And if you take a step back, by the year 2030, 2/3 of the nation's wealth will be in the hands of women. Today, 40% of wives out-earn their husbands. Today, 35% of businesses started are female founded. So it's already starting. I just want to figure out how to support that, because when I look at the economies of scale by 2030, that's the market I'm after.
That was my conversation with Katie Warner Johnson, co-founder and CEO of Carbon38, also an alum of Deutsche Bank, as it turns out.